All right, today's screencast is going to talk to you about recipe size conversion. So what that means is you're going to learn how to calculate a conversion factor. A conversion factor is either going to increase or decrease recipe amounts. It's a number you're going to multiply each individual ingredient by, and it's used to convert like a recipe that yields 4 to a recipe that yields 72. And it's pretty simple when you follow the formula. So let's see how to do it. So first off, there are three things you need to be familiar with. The first one is you always, when using a conversion factor, you need to reference the yield. The yield, it tells you how much the recipe makes. You need it in this formula for a conversion factor. All right. You can see in the center here, recipe conversion factor is a factor that we use to convert each individual ingredient quantity so that the new recipe yields the new desired amounts. All right. And then you'll use the formula, which is new yield divided by old yield, and it's going to give you a number. That number is, if it's in a decimal, you need to use it in its exact form. And before you convert, the units need to match. So say the recipe makes 4 cups and you wanted to make like 72 cups, they match. So it's very easy math to do. But say it makes 4 cups, but you want it to yield 6 gallons. Now you have to convert it to make sure that the units are the same, or it will not work. All right. So how do you calculate the recipe conversion factor? You can see here the formula is new yield divided by old yield equals your conversion factor. Again, you do not round, you use it in its original form, even if it has lots of numbers after the decimal. And then step 3, the recipe conversion factor carries no unit. That's why it's important that the yield, the new and the old yield units match. All right. So how are you going to resize these recipe yields? Well, first you're going to determine if the units of the new yield and the old yield are the same. Okay, they're the same, you're good to go. You can move on to step number 3. If the units are not the same, you need to convert them to equal. So you need to look at your equivalents. Then in step 3, you're going to divide the new recipe yield by the original recipe yield, and that is going to give you your conversion factor. And then you can see in step number 4, you're going to apply the conversion factor to all the ingredient quantities. So you're going to multiply them. Okay. And then step 5, you're going to convert new quantities to easily measure. So like if it says 12 teaspoons, you're going to obviously convert that to either tablespoons or cups, things like that. And then just things to remember, the recipe conversion factor has no unit attached. It's just a basic number used to increase or decrease recipe amounts. All right. All right, so here's some examples. There are 4 examples here. So you can see, for example 1, is the original recipe was 3 pounds of pie dough. You now want 20 pounds of pie dough. So you can see right here in the pie dough calculation, new yield 20 pounds divided by old yield 3 pounds, and it gives you 6.66, and on is your conversion factor. The recipes or the units match, so it's really easy to do. Okay, next one, 2 gallons of vinaigrette. You want to make a half gallon of vinaigrette. Recipes are the units are the same, so you're going to do new yield half gallon divided by old yield 2 gallons. Very easy, 0.25 recipe conversion factor. And then in step number example number 3, they're the same, just basic 1, servings. So new yield, 50 servings divided by old yield of 12, and you're going to get the 4.166 as your conversion factor. And you use that to increase the ingredient amounts. And then problem number 4, the new yield is 100 pounds of cucumber salad. The old yield is 20, so you're just going to divide 100 by 20, and your conversion factor is 5. You would use those numbers to have the accurate increases of each ingredient in each of those recipes. Okay. All right, now what are you going to do if they are different, meaning the unit? So example number 1, you have 3 quarts and you need to convert it to gallons. So a recipe yields 3 quarts of soup and the yield needs to be changed to 2 gallons. Okay, so in this situation, the units are not the same, so you need to convert so the units match. Okay, so you are converting it to be 2 gallons. The original is 3 quarts. So you're going to set it up just like we've set up the other problems. 3 quarts over, you're going to cross multiply. So 3 quarts over 1, just because you're going to want them to cross out. And then you're going to multiply that by gallon, because that's what we're converting it to. And there are 4 quarts in a gallon, so we put 4 quarts right underneath. The quarts cross out because we're cross multiplying, and you are going to end up with 3 divided by 4. All right, so you're going to get 0.75, and the only unit that carries over is gallons. So that's how we would convert that over. So to calculate conversion factor, you're going to take your new yield, which is 2 gallons, divided by old yield, which the 3 quarts converted to gallons is 0.75, and you are going to get 2.666 as your recipe conversion factor. All right, so you just need the units to match, but you need to know your conversions. All right, so here's a couple different examples with different units. So number 1, you're converting 1 cup of sauce to a quart of sauce. Number 2, 1.5 pounds of spice mix to 12 ounces of spice mix. And then number 3, you're doing 1.5 pints of salsa to 1 3/4 gallon. So you can see how we converted it based on, for the sauce, there's 4 cups in a quart. So you can see how we did that. All right, move over here to the spice mix. There are 16 ounces in a pound. So we just switched it over so that they matched. Okay. And then here, 1.5 pints, and we're converting it to 1 3/4 gallon. There are 8 pints in a gallon, so we converted it to the pints, and you can see all the conversion factors. If you have any questions, please let your teacher know. All right, and then here's how you're going to do it when there's a change in portion size. So for the first part, blueberry muffins, the original recipe makes 65-ounce blueberry muffins, but you want to make 10 dozen 4-ounce portions. All right, so step number 1, units are not the same. You need to convert to ounces. Okay, so you're just going to add to the total ounces, because everything, it's like 60 and this is in dozen, and even though these are both in ounces, you want to make sure that they are all the same. So we're going to just basically convert them to ounces. So you're going to take 120 portions because there are, that's your new yield. So there are 12 in 1 dozen, so 12 times 10 is 120. So 120 times 4-ounce portions. So you are going to have a grand total of 480 ounces of your new blueberry muffin batter. Okay. Your old yield, which was the 65-ounce portions. So you're going to set it up the same way, 60 times 5 5-ounce portions, and you're going to have a old yield of 300. All right, so you take your new yield of 480, divide by your old yield of 300, and your conversion factor is 1.6 is your conversion factor. All right, right down here, kind of the same setup. Original recipe makes 3 3/4 cups of rice pudding. You want to make 2 quarts total, so they do not match. So you want to make sure that they match. So you are going to do new divided by old, and we are converting it to cups. So 2 quarts over 30 3/4 cups. So you're going to do, which would convert over to 2 quarts over 22.5 cups, which would convert over to 8 cups over, there are 4 cups in a pint, or 2 cups in a pint, 4 cups in a quart. So 8 total cups divided by your 22.5 cups, and your conversion factor is 0.355, and so on. All right, again, recipe conversion factor is used to increase or decrease recipe amount, each individual ingredient. All right, applying the recipe conversion factor. So obviously this is recap. You're just determining if the units are the same. If they are the same, then you would divide the new yield, divide by old yield. You would use your recipe conversion factor, multiply that by each ingredient, and make sure it's in its easiest measuring format. All right, here is an example where we are making red pepper coulis for an event. You need to make 1.5 gallons. The recipe that you have yields 1 quart. You're going to calculate the recipe conversion factor and convert each original ingredient quantity into the new quantity. Okay, so step 1, the units are not the same, so you need to make sure that they are the same. So meaning they're gallons and quarts, so we are going to set it up as 1 gallon equals 4 quarts, 1.5 gallons equals 6 quarts. Okay, so step number 3, your new yield, which is 6 quarts, which we converted over the 1.5 gallons, 6 divided by your old, which is 1 quart, and your recipe conversion factor is 6. So you're going to multiply each individual amount by 6, giving you your new amounts to prepare the red pepper coulis to make your 1.5 gallons or 6 quarts. All right, so you can kind of see how we did that. All right, now you're going to move on to your chapter 14 written practice problems.